Good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and this show is brought to you by our friends at Massage Magazine Insurance Plus. Massage Magazine has been exploring touch therapies for over 25 years and has used that industry knowledge to develop the best value liability insurance in the business. And tonight we have a special guest, and Kelli Wise. Welcome tonight, Kelli.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi. So we're going to be talking about websites tonight.
That's right.
Yep, and so many people need that help too. That's the thing. So
they do indeed, because everybody needs a website.
Yep. Yeah. So, can you give me a little background and how you got started, even before you started in massage? Then.
Sure. I'm a degreed electrical engineer, and I did that for about 25 years. I worked for a lot of big companies and a lot of small companies. I designed some cheap Radio Shack junk when I worked at Tandy. My last company was Intel, the people that make processors, not the people listening in on this phone call.
Okay.
And it was at Intel that I got started doing web design, because we had internal websites, and I got picked to design my group's website. Found out that it was a lot of fun. But after 25 years doing technology and engineering and management, I was kind of burned out. I was always the kid that ran around rubbing shoulders, and I had a friend who was a massage therapist and put the bug in my ear. So I went to massage school here in Olympia, Washington, called Body Mechanics, and graduated. I've been practicing for 5.5 years now. I currently teach at Body Mechanics, just about to graduate a class, and we'll be bringing on the next morning class soon. So as part of the website design stuff, I designed my own websites for my business. My friends found out that I could do websites, and they drafted me to help them out. And I ended up doing so many websites and doing maintenance for, like, my landlord and a few other people, that I decided I should make it official, get it doing business as, and start making it look real legitimate. So I do massage therapy and website design.
Okay, so a little bit of everything then. And
a little bit of everything.
Okay, but massage therapy is your main.
Massage therapy is still my main gig.
Okay, and then with website, why do you think massage therapists in general don't have websites?
I think they're a little afraid of the technology, or they just don't seem to think that it's necessary. They think that word of mouth referrals is going to fill their books up forever and ever. And for some of them, yeah, that may work, but if you're trying to grow a business, if you're trying to start a business, you really need to be able to get out and get seen by people in your community. And it used to be that you would, pay some exorbitant amount of money for a real crappy Yellow Pages listing. I paid $57 a month for a 3/4-inch listing in the Yellow Pages.
Wow.
And and that's in a small town that's not an expensive market like Seattle. And nobody even uses Yellow Pages anymore, except for my grandmother. But most people go to the web. So if you don't have a website, you don't exist. And I get a lot of clients who were standing in line at the bank and looked for a website or looked for a massage therapist, and I happen to be a quarter of a mile from where they were standing. So I get a lot of phone calls based on my website.
Oh. And do you think, what do you think the percentage of massage therapists out there that have websites right now, you think? Or?
Oh, if I had to guess, I would probably say of the ones that have their own practices, maybe a quarter of them.
Okay, so it's really low, but...
Yeah, I think it's still pretty low.
Yeah. And do you think some of these, like ABMP and stuff, do you think that's helping out, get a little bit of people, massage websites out there? Because a lot of those, even Massage Insurance Plus, they have websites you can actually at least start off with and stuff, or...
Yeah, those are good starter websites, and I think it gets people used to the idea and find out that it's not quite as scary as maybe they had thought. The problem with some of the free websites is they don't rank as well in Google, so they may not do as well in finding clients, but I really do believe that it's a good way to start. If you can't, there are other free alternatives that are actually better, but They're kind of like a website on training wheels.
Okay.
And it's a lovely service that, you know, at least the ABMP and the AMTA and the other organizations recognize the fact that their members need a website.
Yeah. And what kind of pages would you need, you think, on a website? What are some of the major pages?
Well, the main page you're going to need, of course, is what's called either the home page, the index page, or the landing page. It depends on who you talk to. But that's the one that people see when you type in, you know, www.yourmassagecompany.com. The next most important page, and it's going to sound crazy, is your About page. When I look at traffic on websites, on my websites and on other people's, the second most visited page is always the About page.
Wow.
When somebody comes to you, especially with a service like massage, where it's a very personal service, they want to know who they're doing business with. And if they can't actually meet you face-to-face, the About page is their first introduction. So a nice headshot, a description of you, why you got into massage, you know, if you like to knit, you know, whatever the personalization you want to do. But yeah, the About page is very important. The next page is, you'll probably want to have one that describes your services or your hours, if you do by appointment only. So, and then you want to have your contact information available. You can either have a separate contact page, or you can have your main form of contact, like a phone number or your scheduling software on your pages. And your address. If they're driving to your office, you want to have your address.
Yeah. Do you recommend like embedding Google Maps or something in that page too?
Yes, yeah. That is such a nice feature. It's just a tiny, for a webmaster, it's a tiny little piece of code, and all they have to do is click on it, on the embedded map. It will take them to Google, where they can type in their address and get driving directions.
Okay.
It's a great feature.
And what's a big, do you work with mobile sites too?
The big difference between a desktop site and a mobile site is it's called responsive design. And on some of them, what it'll do is, because the screen is a lot smaller, it'll reorder some of the items so that it'll have your logo, and then it'll have your navigation, and then below that it has all your content. Some designers like that. Some graphic designers don't, because they feel that it is an abomination to their graphic design. They want the website experience the way they designed it, and everybody has Zoom on their smartphones.
Yeah, true.
So it's really, at this point, it's kind of a matter of taste. I think if your website does not render on a mobile phone, you're in deep trouble, because more and more people are actually accessing your website via their iPhones and their Androids. I look at my website traffic and what's called the browser. I know who's coming, what they're using, and the percentage of mobile users is ramping up rapidly.
Yeah, because wasn't it back in the day, I mean, everybody, you're supposed to have a mobile site and everything else, but now they're kind of detracting from it then, would you say?
Yeah, and especially with the smartphones, because you can, pinch and drag and zoom, and if it's too small to see, they can just zoom in on it and read it. And most of the new CSS and HTML3, which are the standards, are mobile friendly. And the browsers that the iPhone and the Androids are using are going to be pretty cozy with whatever website design you use.
And do you recommend using? Yeah. Yeah. Do you recommend using Flash at all? Because I know with iPads and iPhones they don't. But is Flash dying or?
Flash is not dying, but Flash has its uses. But don't use it as your splash page on the website. Again, like you said, iPhones and iPads don't support Flash, which means that they end up with a black screen. The other big disadvantage to Flash is it doesn't give you any Google juice. So Google can't look at a Flash item and say, "Oh, this is about massage therapy in Olympia, Washington, and so we're going to rank well." So it just becomes this gigantic search engine black hole. So no, I don't recommend Flash. If you're looking to add video to your website, you can do either a video and embed it either on YouTube or Vimeo, and then embed it in your website. And so it looks like it's playing from your website, but the data is actually coming from YouTube.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, because what I've noticed too is on all my videos, at least 30% of my traffic is actually from mobile devices too.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just huge. And then Donna in the chat asked, do you think we should have an online scheduling on our websites?
Yeah, it's great. Online scheduling is some of the companies like Schedulicity are fabulous. You can set up your hours. It makes it so easy for your clients to go in and pick what time works for them. You're not playing phone tag back and forth. If they're at work, they can just get on the computer and type in hey, and nobody knows that they're scheduling a massage. Not everybody has online scheduling. I currently don't, but that's for other reasons. But yeah, online scheduling is great.
And is it easy to block off time and stuff like that too? So I know some of the scheduling, it's harder to block it off, and it just shows all open spots because you don't want to tell the clients that it's all open, and because otherwise you don't look like you're popular at all.
Well, you also, if you're like me, you want to block schedule, right? So if you've got somebody who's coming in at 1, you want your next appointment at either, like 2 or at 12, and so yeah, with some of the other online scheduling, you can block off your hours. Go in and look at their features, play around, ask questions. If you know a therapist who has that particular scheduling software or a service, send them an email and ask them how they like it. It always helps. And if you're worried about, the competition not wanting to answer it, find somebody in another town who has the software and ask them, because you're not competition.
Okay. And then Alyssa says, what about blogging? Is it worth the effort, SEO-wise?
Yes, blogging is fabulous. So for those of you who don't know what SEO means, that's search engine optimization. And that's the sort of thing that makes you rank. That means that you come up to the top of the page when you type in something in Google or Bing or Yahoo. And blogging, what websites or what the search engines like is they want information that's relevant, right? So if you've got a massage website, write about massage or healthcare or whatever. The other thing they like is information that changes. So if Google comes and they look at your site and they index it, which means they make a note of everything that you've got. If they come back in a month and nothing has changed, they say, well, this site isn't changing, so we won't come back for 3 months. But if they come back in a month and you've written a blog post, well, there's new content. So Google will come back in 2 weeks. And they'll keep decreasing the amount of time that they index your site if you keep your material fresh. If you're writing a blog on a regular basis, you can probably get your articles indexed within 10 minutes of them posting.
Wow.
So a blog is great. It also allows you, there's a thing called keywords. I know some of you have heard about it. Oh, they got to have my keywords in the meta tags. And no, you don't anymore. But blogs are a great way to use those keywords. And what I mean by that is if you specialize in pregnancy massage, you can use the words pregnancy and massage in blog articles. The more you write about pregnancy massage and the benefits of massage for pregnant women, then the more relevant your website is for people that are looking for pregnancy massage. You can also rank for towns and cities and other things that are going to drag people into your site.
Okay. And then Google's, it's frustrating finding out what works, what doesn't with Google because they constantly change their stuff all the time. Are keywords as big for Google, would you say, or?
What I tell people is with Google, the trick is you want to write stuff that people read. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but Google is in the business of providing the best results, what's called relevant information. For those of us old enough to remember before Google, which I think is abbreviated BG,
yeah.
Alta Vista. And so you would want to look for some information on, massage. And you would type in massage, and what you would get back is every single website that used the word massage, right? Will we massage the books, or, massage the oil into the chicken, right? And so it would be all kinds of stuff just because they had used a word. And the beauty of Google was, if you typed in massage, they would prioritize it. What you're looking for is massage therapy. And so that's what they would give you results on. So Google is in the business of providing people the information they're looking for. So what I tell people, if you really want to rank well on Google in the long term, write information that people want to read, make sure that it's relevant. So if your page is about massage, you don't want to be writing about recipes.
A recipe for a massage style. Yeah.
Exactly. The organic fruit massage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can write about sports. If you do sports massage, then writing about running and the cross country team that you support or whatever, that's good. But so trying to game Google doesn't work, because when Google finds out that people are gaming it, they change their algorithm, and then they punish people. And a lot of people have gotten caught in that in the last couple of years. The scrapers really got hurt when what was known as the Panda release came out.
Oh, yep. Cosmic Panda, yep.
And thank God for those of us that actually write original material. It was nice to know that our sites now were ranking better than the people who were scraping our sites. But Google finds people were complaining about that, and so Google went in and rewrote the stuff. And Google has just released another change, and it's upset a lot of people right now, based on your personal stuff. So, you can't. Again, I don't say to game it. Try to keep your keywords. Try to use them organically in your content. Don't just fill it up massage therapy, and write that 50 times. Google's engines are smart enough to go, oh well, they're keyword stuffing, and we're going to punish them for it.
Yeah. And then somebody said, can you recommend a good blog site, even ones that you have to pay for or ones that you don't, that you can use for blogs?
Oh, yeah. If you want to just start your own blog, Wordpress.com is free. Wordpress is the most widely used blogging software. For people like me, I actually build websites around it, and I use a self-hosted version. But WordPress also has a version that they host, so they provide all the computers. You can actually get your own domain name and attach it to that blog, and it'll be free. If you are not that broke, you can actually just pay for hosting, say a web hosting at Bluehost, which is going to run about $100 a year. A WordPress software is open source, and that means it is free. You can install it there, and Bluehost has tools to help you install it. WordPress, again, it's completely free. You can get fancy themes. There's a few thousand different themes. That's the look and feel, colors, pictures, layouts, and those are free. You can also buy premium themes. Premium themes are going to run you about $35 a piece. So there's a lot of options out there. There's Blogger, which isn't as popular, doesn't have as many features as WordPress. There's TypePad if you want something smaller. So there's a lot of options out there just for blogging.
Have you played around with Tumblr at all much?
I don't have a Tumblr account. I played around with it a little bit on other people's stuff, and it's great. It's a microblog. It's kind of halfway in between blogging and Twitter.
And some people say Google Plus is kind of turning into blogging in a way too.
Kind of, yeah. And some of that is, Google bought Blogger years ago, and they want Google Plus to pretty much be the destination for everybody on the web is going to go through Google at some point. So you could use Google Plus almost as a blog. It's kind of like a grown-up version of Facebook. And then, you can use that as that. What I don't recommend, though, is that you give either Google or Facebook or Twitter all of your content. You want your very own home base, because if Google Plus goes out of business, they take your online identity with them.
Yep. And now Alyssa asks, what are the biggest Bonehead website mistakes?
Oh, they are many. Probably the biggest one is not making your phone number obvious. If you want people to call you for an appointment, don't hide your phone number like on one page somewhere and make the font really small. You want it on every page so that people can find it. Other boneheaded mistakes is not running a SLEP check. Run it through, if you're not sure if you typed everything in, if you're like me and you get, a little fumble fingered, pull all the text out of it, drop it into word processing program and let it check the spelling for you. And one or two spelling mistakes people can tolerate, but, when you get to about the 15th in the second paragraph, you look like an idiot. Stealing other people's content. Either by assuming that if the photograph is on the internet, that it's free to use. That's not true. Copying somebody else's text. Google has a thing now where if you duplicate all the information word for word, without actually citing it as a block quote, they're assuming that you're just reposting it, and so you're not going to do well on the ranking. It also makes you subject to, copyright infringement. Having an atrociously ugly website. There are just some that are, there's entire websites built around pointing out ugly websites. And they're really pretty amusing. But yeah, if you open up a website, you immediately want to stab your eyes out. Your clients are thinking of that too. Using a really bad picture of yourself. If you're going to have a photo of yourself, don't use one from 1973 that you scanned in and it looks horrible, Have a decent picture taken. Those are just some of the really big boneheaded mistakes. And the other one, the biggest one, is what I call set it and forget it. Publishing it and then never doing anything to update it.
Yeah, because what I was told way back in the day is what you're supposed to do is leave the index page alone for long periods of time and don't update it. But nowadays, what they say is to keep updating it on a regular basis and stuff. So,
and you don't necessarily have to update the index page all the time, as long as you're posting new information with blog articles or that. But yeah, don't just publish it and walk away and think that it's magically going to attract a lot of business. You've got to keep it up to date. And the other thing is, you need to use it. It's a marketing tool, right? So if you don't use it, if you don't go out and promote it, hey, go to my website. People ask you, well, how can I find you? Send them to your website. I've got directions there. You can book an appointment online. I've got great information. So, use it.
Yep. And then a question in the chat: How far in the future would you recommend starting a website before you are open for business?
Ideally, I think you should have a website the day that you open for business. And it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? The saying is never let the perfect get in the way of the good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect when you start. Again, a home page, an about page, and services, what you do. Make sure that your contact information is there. Depending on how fast a writer you are, I would start working on it 2-3 months before you're licensed and ready to go. Just because what I have found with most clients is the longest process is actually writing the text, because people freak out about it. But I'd like to have you have that website ready the day you launch, if not before. If your website is ready before you're licensed, it can say, opening July 13th.
Yep.
So yeah, have it ready.
And what about sitemaps? Are sitemaps really important, would you say, still, or?
Yeah, they are. Google uses them to help index your site. Anything you can do to make Google and Bing's job easier, you want to do. If you're running something like WordPress, there are plugins. It's extra little pieces of code that you tack on. They're like little apps that attach to your website and will generate your sitemap for you. There's one that I like in particular that seems to be pretty stable and consistent. And then in WordPress, because it's a dynamic site, that your sitemap will get updated every time you post.
Now, I know with my WordPress sites and stuff like that, the only problems I've had is I've had to install Supercatch.
Yeah, Supercatch.
Yeah, yep.
And that's because of the amount of images that you're posting on your site. There's a couple of them. The W3 Total Cache. There's a couple of them out there that are pretty good. The nice thing with WordPress is there's a ton of plugins, and it's all free. Well, most of them are free. I do actually have a couple of paid-for plugins that I use for backups and that.
Okay, so just be safe then. And
yeah.
Yeah. And then, what are your options when looking to actually get a website then?
You can do anything from a free site, and again, you can use the WordPress.com as your home page. All the way up to the sky is the limit. You can have a full custom site designed and built, handcrafted by elves, I think. I actually saw, there's places where developers go and list their services and what their price ranges are, and I actually saw that guy who listed his pricing starting at $50,000 a piece.
Oh.
So that's not really what the average massage therapist is going to go with. But for most massage therapists, especially if you're solo practitioners, you can get a really nice, attractive, professional website with a lot of capabilities that you can go in and update yourself when you need it for probably $1,000 or less.
Okay, so and the thing is, it's a write-off too. Look at it that way, and yeah.
Absolutely, it's a complete business write-off. And again, you ask yourself what your print advertising costs would be, and the return on investment, and what your return on investment is on a website.
Yep.
It's huge, huge.
And do people ever get in trouble with copyright infringement with websites, with actual design too? Have you heard or?
Yeah, sometimes they will go in, and I've gotten a couple of calls. Hey, can you make it look exactly like website X? No. They paid somebody, $50,000
to start off with. Yeah.
There are companies out there that, especially the big companies. If you're going to copy somebody who's got a lot of money, Amazon, any of those big companies, they have enough lawyers that they will come come after you. They have a lot of trademarking. A lot of that stuff is proprietary, and it's their branding. Now, at the same time, if you like somebody's look and they happen to be using a pre-designed theme that you can buy in a theme marketplace, like I said, $35, $50, the looks could be yours. I've seen people being prosecuted for stealing photographs. Again, just because it's on the internet does not mean it's free.
Yeah.
You can't go and copy somebody's photos off their website and use them on yours. Or somebody's videos like yours.
Yeah. and since I'm a partner on YouTube, I have to follow everything to the T. So I have to explain where I get everything and everything in there and stuff. So, and I always just reuse royalty-free music all the time just to save my glutes and.
Yes. Yes, and there are plenty. There are so many resources out there for photographs. If you're looking for photos, there are places that sell what's called stock photography. which is what photographers do with all those shots that they can't sell to magazines. They sell them on stock photo marketplaces like iStock Photo, which is, I think, owned by Reuters. You can go and buy a professionally taken photograph to use for 500,000 impressions for $3.
Yep.
I mean, it's you know, my first thought was, oh, stock photographs would be so expensive, until I found out they were like $3 a piece. It's like, well, I'll take 10, you know. They're great.
Yeah, and I myself, I use clipart.com. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
Yep.
They're good.
Yep.
There's and royalty-free music. There's a ton of that, you know, out there. There's so many places where you can get this stuff legally, and you're supporting other small solo entrepreneurs like yourself.
You know, and do you think it's a lot better for somebody to actually pay somebody to keep updating a website, or to learn that stuff on your own?
It really depends. If you're, you know, if you just want to go in and be able to say, you know, I want to put in my Valentine's Day special and then take it down, I personally believe that the client should be capable of doing that themselves. That's one of the reasons why I've developed websites using WordPress. It's easy for them to use. And I used to get a lot of phone calls of, you know, I can't get a hold of my web designer and I need to get something put up on the website and get it updated. I don't think that it's necessary for you to be able to go in and learn how to install WordPress, how to manage the WordPress, how to design the website around WordPress. That's why you hire somebody like me, who does it, you know, all day long, every day, and I can do it very quickly, right? Time is money. But as far as updating the content and writing blog articles, I really believe that you guys should be able to do that yourself. It's designed to be done by, you know, 96-year-old grandmothers who blog about knitting.
Yep.
So, you know, you should be able to do it too. You're technically capable enough.
Yep. And then somebody in the chat asked, do you think it's more important for a solo practitioner or a group practice to have a website, or is it crucial for either?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Again, people are looking for services now on the internet. And when you look at the internet usage, people under 30 look automatically to their smartphones or to the internet. When they're looking for a dentist, they go to the internet. When they're looking for Thai food, they go to the internet. You know, if they're looking for massage therapy, they go to the internet. So if the solo practitioner wants to have, you know, a full books, you know, if you want to be booked out a couple of weeks in advance, if you don't have a website, you're not going to. And if you're running a big clinic and you don't have a big website, you are not going to be a big clinic for very long. You really have to go, you know, you really have to be out there and have a presence.
And is there any places out there you recommend hosting your websites?
There are several, and I'd like to start by one that I don't recommend, and that's GoDaddy.com. It's one thing if you've got your domain names there, which again I can recommend to other people, but for web hosting, they tend to put too many websites on the same computers, and so everything runs slow. And their entire back end is, you know, the webmaster tools are a pain. But for companies that I do recommend, I use lunarpages.com. That's LUNARPAGES.com. There's Bluehost, BLUEHOST. They're very good. HostGator, HostGator.com. They're all good.
Yeah, and I myself use HostGator for the last 3 years, and I love them because their technical support. Anytime I have any problems, it's just like instant. And
honestly, that's one of the most important things is how fast are their servers. You know how, you know, like I said, GoDaddy tends to overstuff things, but HostGator, Lunar Pages, I've used their tech support on all of these companies. You can call them up and get somebody on the phone who knows what they're talking about. Get things fixed in a matter of minutes.
And then Phyllis in the chat asked, how about Pure Host? Have you heard of them at all?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not, but you know, again, that there's a ton of hosting companies out there. If you use them and you're happy with them, stay with them.
And for myself, I had the hardest time when I switched over to HostGator because I had so much content on another host. I mean, it took a couple days to upload everything and stuff, so people should look at that too. And
yeah. If you're going to have a big site like Ryan does with a ton of data, or if you've got a blog with 3 or 4 years worth of posts, moving hosts becomes a lot harder just because of the quantity of data you're moving.
What do you think is a good price for hosting a month or a year?
So most website or most massage therapists are not going to use a lot of bandwidth. You know, you're really not. You're not going to have, 20,000 visitors a month. So you can actually get by with what's called shared hosting, or the basic plan like on Bluehost or whatever. And that typically is going to run between $5 and $8 a month, depending on the length of contract. So a 1-year contract is going to be $8 a month, and they want the money all up front, so it's $96. Your domain name renewals are going to run you about, $10, $20 a year. So figure budget for your hosting, $100, $110 a year.
Yep, and then Phyllis just said, please post host sites. Kelly recommended, so I'll try to remember those. And yep. Okay. Otherwise, your website again is massagetherapyworld.com, right?
Massagetherapyworld.com, yes.
Yep. So they can contact you even late at night, and you'll answer them. And
I may not answer them late at night. I have to wait the next day. And here's another great thing that I have found, and I don't know about you, Ryan, but it used to be in the old days you would put your email address, contact me, click on this email link, and it would open up their email program. And really all you ever ended up with was like a bajillion pieces of spam in your index, in your inbox, right? I use a contact form now. And so people put in their name, their email, so they can be at work, and they can put in their home email account and a message and click send, and it comes to me. So my email address is not exposed for the spammers to find. The other thing I have found is people love it. I get a ton of email inquiries because of the contact form. It's just so much easier for people to use that than to click email. They just, and they can ask questions. They don't. I guess it's just the ease of use, and the fact that it allows them some flexibility on what email address to use.
Okay. And then for your website, I mean, can people actually hire you out? Are you booked way in advance with?
People can hire me out, depending on what clients I've got. Of course, my workload kind of ebbs and flows. I just published 2 websites in the last 7 days, 2 big ones. So, and I'm spinning up on a couple more. So yes, they can always get in touch with me. I specialize in more templated because my goal is to keep the costs extremely low, so that everybody can afford a website. I don't do the $50,000 websites.
Okay. But you could if you wanted to, though.
I could. I think some of it is I don't have the attention span to spend, like 12 months designing a website.
Yeah.
But no, I use WordPress. I use a lot of templated designs. I do some more branded stuff, so if you've got a logo, I can work that in. And depending on how fast you can write content is how fast we can get you a website.
I mean, with Blogger and WordPress and everything else, that's actually easier than Facebook. So everybody knows how to use Facebook nowadays. So
yeah, if you can figure out Facebook, you can figure out WordPress.
Yep. And do you still need to submit to like Google and Yahoo and everything else when you first?
It really helps if you do, especially if you've got a brick and mortar business, because you're registering with their places, Yahoo Places and Google Places, so you'll show up on their map, and with the little pin drop thing. What I have found is, the website design website I've got, I haven't registered with Google Places because I don't really have a brick and mortar space for it. It's pretty much my laptop, but I still do pretty well. You know, it doesn't rank as well as, say, my massage therapy practice, which is on the first page for results. But yeah, I recommend you go in, and it's free. I mean, this stuff is all free. You just have to fill out some forms.
And you actually help them set up their SEO and everything else too then, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the SEO is kind of built in. I work with them on, you know, what they're looking for, you know, what kind of clients they're looking for, what kind of search terms, what towns they serve, to make sure that we're covering all of that.
And is it recommended to put commas in between things in the keywords, or can you just string everything together? Or?
Commas, but to be honest with you, there was just a video released by one of the founders of Google, Serge. They don't actually look at keywords anymore.
Uh-huh.
They literally do not. I mean, they've come out and said, we don't. You know, you don't even have to put in anything in there anymore. The reason is because people were spamming it. They were just filling it up with, you know, whatever, you know, pictures of Justin Bieber, and hoping that they would rank well for people looking for that. So they don't pay any attention. What I recommend with the keywords is, and Google or Bing and Yahoo might use keywords, but all the search engines are backing off on using them. What they're looking for is the keywords being used in the content of the site.
Okay. And then what about for video? Is that easily indexed, would you say, out on the web or not? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're running your video on like YouTube or Vimeo, YouTube especially, it indexes really well. And again, you're not hosting the video on your website. You're just writing a little snippet of code that says, go to YouTube and play the video here where it looks like it's on my website.
And what about when people embed their video on their own website? Does it slow down that page at all, would you say, or not much? Or
no, if they're actually running YouTube, if they're hosting the video on YouTube, again, their website isn't actually streaming the video. It's coming through YouTube. It just looks like it's coming through your page, and at that point, it really becomes a question of how heavily taxed YouTube is being at that particular moment.
Okay. And do you recommend video on your pages too and stuff on your websites? And
if you're at all photogenic and not camera shy, yes, I do. There's people like to see video. Again, you know, you could read my website and not actually get a feel for the fact that this is what I look and sound like, right? It's a very personal business, and it gives people a flavor for who you are. It also helps you rank well. There's just a lot of advantages to video. I will caution you, I had a contract doing chair massage with a company that does sign language interpretation for the deaf, for video relay services, and the entire deaf community is kind of being left behind by YouTube because there's no closed captioning.
oh,
So if you have a really great article and you talked and said all this wonderful information, if you can afford it, hire somebody to transcribe it and have both the video and the text.
okay. And what about backlinks? Are they important anymore? Or?
Good quality backlinks.
Okay. Because they're back in the day, they had backlink farms or something like that.
Yeah,
or?
if you go to the websites, it's just strings and strings of links, and those are useless. People linking to you from Facebook is considered a good backlink.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm busy promoting Massage Nerd TV on Facebook, Google goes, wow, the people on Facebook are talking about Massage Nerd. And the search engines do actually place more weight on certain websites. Facebook is one of them. Google Plus is one of them. Twitter is one of them.
And then also with my videos and stuff like that, I always put http://www.massagenerd.com, so it's a direct link to there all the time too and stuff. But can too many links from the same channel be bad too, or?
I haven't seen that it's hurt anybody, but and the thing is, all of your material is relevant.
Yeah.
The topic, it's all different. and enough other people are recommending it.
Yep.
If it's just you pointing to Massage Nerd, at some point Google is going to go, dude needs a life.
So, no. And do people really need a logo, would you say?
No. If if you're right out of school and you're sitting there going, do I need a logo? No, you don't need a logo. Logos, if you're Coca-Cola, you need a logo. If you're just, Jill Payne doing massage, you need your name. And try to come up with something that brands you, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's a color you like, if you're into sports massage, gear your look and feel around sports massage, pregnancy massage, whatever. You don't need a logo. You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on it. That's something you can add later on. And in fact, I would wait a little while and get a feel for what your business is really like. And then go get a logo if you really feel like you need one. My massage therapy practice does not have a logo. I have a wonderful picture of Mount Rainier on there that I hiked 6 miles to get. And that's my logo. It's Mountain Shadow Massage, and that's the mountain it was named after.
What about with Google with page ranks? Or is that really important? What's a good page rank? And
yes, a good page rank is something on the first page. Well, that's a great page rank. A good page rank is not page 30. Most people will give up looking after about 3 pages, and they'll type something else into the search bar. The thing is, you don't ever really want to try to rank for the word massage. You're not going to, right? Massage envy, massage warehouse, all of these things are actually going to always rank better than you. You don't want to rank for the word massage. You want to narrow it down. Massage in your city and your state. So for me, if you type in Massage Lacey, WA, I will come up on the first page. And that ranking is going to change. But people will normally, people are lazy, right? If they type in Massage Lacey, Washington, and they don't like the first person's name, they don't like the second person's name, they're going to pick somebody in that list of 10. And they'll just start calling those people in order. And your page rankings are going to change. Like if you're looking at it going, well, look, I'm ranked number 2, but on my friend's computer I'm ranked number 8. Why? The search engines know where you've been. They know what you look for. They're actually following you around everywhere. It's why when you go there, if you've gone to look at QuickBooks website, why suddenly you see QuickBooks ads everywhere you go.
Yep.
They track that, and so they know if what you've been looking for massage. And if you've been doing a lot of competitive analysis and you're clicking on all your competitors, when you go back and search, your page rankings are going to vary because Google has kept track of what you're looking for.
So it's really hard to totally win then, right?
It's totally hard to, yeah. I mean, look at how much money Massage Envy spends on advertising in order to be number 1.
Yep. And then Alyssa Haynes asked, but logos translate great to Facebook business page, picture page, so.
They do indeed. And again, they're wonderful to have. You don't have to have one, and the reason I say that is because I don't want you to not have a website because you don't have a logo. Right? You can always add the logo later, but don't delay having that website.
Yep. And Donna says search engine equals Big Brother.
Yeah. Well, it's not just search engine, it's Facebook. It's Amazon. It's the web browsers you use. All of these sites track where you've been. Your browsers keep what are called cookies, which is why you can tell if you've visited a link before. Facebook has its own set of cookies, so you can shut all the cookies off on your page and delete them all, but Facebook knows what you've looked at. They know who your friends are. And they do that because they want to know what advertisements to show you, right? If you're like me and you don't actually ever watch hockey, I will never see an advertisement that's hockey related. It's not going to happen. But I do look for things like QuickBooks, and suddenly I can't get rid of this stuff out of my browser windows. I just had a question. How do I do this in my copy of QuickBooks?
Would clearing the cache at all help, would you say, or not?
It can a little bit, but it's not going to get rid of everything. It really is Big Brother.
Yep.
Your only way to do that is a completely new computer.
Okay, it is. Oh.
Completely new identities and everything.
Yep. And what about Alexa.com?
Alexa is a ranking, and it's kind of like the New York Times bestseller list for websites. There are some sites that are always going to rank really high, in the top 10. I think my websites are ranking in the top 30 or 50,000, which is actually pretty respectable, given the tens and tens of millions of websites out there. To be in the top 5 digits is actually pretty good. But it also depends on the category. So for massage, I actually rank a lot better than that.
Okay. And where do you see yourself in the next few years? Where do you see yourself focused? Mostly on websites or teaching or?
Sitting in the Bahamas, no.
Hey, you can make websites from there too. So.
Yeah, I burn too easily. So now I do a lot of. I teach at the local massage school, and I also teach some continuing ed, and I find it strangely enjoyable to actually teach massage students and other professionals. And I do like talking about ethics, which makes me incredibly bizarre. So I like to continue doing that, and I do enjoy the website design. Again, I can massage one person at a time, but if I can help 20 massage therapists massage somebody, I can help 20 people at a time. So by helping other massage therapists, I can actually expand my reach. I'm getting a little old for doing a ton of massage, and I do actually enjoy the combination, the right brain and the left brain stuff. So I think long term, I'll probably be doing more web design and teaching, and probably less actual hands-on massage.
Okay, and then constantly blogging all the time too, right? And
yeah.
Okay.
And blogging.
Yep. What are some of the topics that you mostly blog on, or?
I do a lot of stuff on business-related stuff, but at least when I first started the blog, there weren't a lot of massage blogs out there that I saw, and so I wanted to fill a gap. But there are so many more now that have really gotten started. Alyssa started like a couple of months after I did. We've got Kat. We've got all these other people that are blogging, and a lot of them are doing business-related stuff. So I might start doing less of that and start, poking around in more ethical stuff and more technology stuff. And, you can never have too many good business ideas. I also run a Twitter chat every Sunday for massage therapists, which is kind of like a live, free-form conversation via text, 140 characters at a time. Just for everybody else to have a conversation. So yeah, there's people still have a lot of questions on business. It's hard having your own business. I worked in companies big and small for 25 years, all the way from really tiny companies to behemoths like AT&T, and I did everything that they ever asked me to do to try and learn how to do it. And when I opened my own business, it was still about 10,000 times more challenging than I ever prepared myself for. So, having any and all information, if I had had half of this information when I was starting out, things would be very different now.
Yep. And then Alyssa says hashtag massage chat then for Twitter.
Hashtag massage chat.
Okay.
And it's on Sundays. It starts at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
And if you want instructions, go to massagetherapyworld.com. It's on the sidebar on how to join in.
And then you also teach continuing education classes too, then, or?
I do. I teach continuing ed. I do ethics, which we have a requirement now for ethics in Washington. I do one on website basics, which is dirt cheap. It's just to get people to think about it. And I have one hands-on class. I do not have a treatment that's named after me. There will be no whys. I do more strategy-based instruction, how to treat people that sit at a computer all day, that sort of thing.
Come on.
The framework for technique works.
Come on, the WISE method, that would be awesome.
I know, I've got the name just perfect for that.
Yep, yeah. And is there some on the homepage too? What kind of content would you think would be the best content to be on the homepage of somebody's website?
Yeah, so it's going to be, you're going to want to really concentrate on some of the words that you're looking for to rank well for in Google. So you'll want to mention, you don't want to have to say welcome, right? Because